Starting your week the right way. Coming to the FPL Green Room with me, Gianni and her, Holly Shand.
In this episode, we're going to react to all of the action from Game Week 12. I've got the numbers game, didn't see any football over the weekend, but Gianni's got the eye test report. We're also on Blue Sky. I've seen lots of content creators getting involved on there, so you can find the pod at FPL Green Room. I'm on there at Holly Shand. What are you, Gianni?
Oh, I think I'm just my name. Yeah, Gianni Battici. And I did a poll on YouTube yesterday. I thought I can't poll this on Blue Sky because you can't do that. Can't poll it on Twitter because it'd be unfair. So I did a YouTube poll to see how many of the FPL audience on YouTube are on Blue Sky. And it was about 19-20% from like 500 votes. So it was a good sample size. So yeah, good to know that there's still 1 in 5 on it, but the vast majority are still, I think, on Twitter, which is good to know. But we like both, and we'll be, I guess, posting on both. But look, first up, before we talk about our individual games, are we on green arrows, Holly? We are both pretty in pink today, which wasn't planned. If you're listening on podcast, you'll have no idea what we're talking about. I'm in a pink jumper. Holly is in an even more pink jumper. But Holly, I expect, unlike me, you're on a green arrow.
I'm not on a green arrow, actually.
What? You had Salah captain and you're not on a green arrow?
Yeah, because it was slim picking elsewhere. I'm on a small red arrow, but I'm expecting Isak to make that worse.
Right.
I think, obviously, Captain Salah did the business, but there was only Solanke with an assist for any other attacking returns in my side. Couple of clean sheets. David Raya, after about 3 months, has finally kept another clean sheet. Vandenberg, a nice little clean sheet for Brentford. But yeah, I didn't have some of the big players like Cunha, and I think you're a Cunha owner, aren't you?
Yeah, Cunha for me was great. I mean, I am on a red arrow because I don't own Mo Salah. I feel like this is a bit of a sort of agony aunt session every time I come on and do a podcast. And when FPL is sort of semi your career, it's a bit embarrassing. But my season's dead and buried. I can rule that out. Like I'm still playing. I don't care as much as I should now. I know there's still a lot of football to be played. I know it sounds like I've thrown my toys out the pram, but quite frankly, if you've backed Haaland for the last 5 game weeks, as I have, captain pretty much every week, other than the week I went Solanke versus Ipswich where he blanked, I've triple captain Haaland, and in all this time, that's fine if your guy blanks. But if the other guy that everyone else owns has been scoring braces every week, in Mo Salah, I'm pretty much dead and buried. Fortunately, my other transfers and moves like Bruno last week and Cunha have been bringing up points. So my red arrows haven't been bad, but you know, I'm still around a grey arrow from where I was 4 or 5 weeks ago, which is around that 2 million mark. But yeah, it's terrible. Captaincy is a huge part of this game. And I have massively lost out through bad decisions, I guess. And maybe you could argue a bit of luck or bad luck. But yeah, is what it is. Do you feel for me, Holly? Pretty brutal, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, you knew going into this game week that no Salah was going to be painful. It was really surprising because, like, the game, we'll talk about it later, but the game Man City v Spurs, we were expecting goals in that game, but for both teams, not just for Spurs. Like, I don't think anyone was predicting a big Spurs win and City failing to score at home, despite City's poor form. Like, you looked at Spurs with both first choice centre backs out injured, you thought, yeah, Haaland's going to do well in this game. So yeah, a little bit unlucky. And I think if we were to look at the biggest XG underperformers, that would back that up.
Yeah, I looked on Sunday morning, the Saturday biggest XG underperformers. Cole Palmer was actually number 1. And number 2 was Haaland. Both the popular captaincy options on Saturday. I mean, the vast majority went Salah on the Sunday, of course. But Palmer and Haaland, both big XG underperformers. And then Delap on the Sunday, obviously a big underperformer as well. So they were the top 3, I think. And no surprises there. Mo Salah continues to... He actually did have clock really high XG, to be fair. He got his brace and he probably deserved that. But yeah, we won't dwell on it. Guys, we would love to do a shout out before we get properly started. If you're watching on YouTube, we'd love to get our subs up. Likes and subscribes on YouTube are welcome. On any of your podcast platforms, rating and following is also very welcome. Join our mini league 139793 as well. If you fancy contacting us, you can on DM on any of our socials, fplgreenroom@gmail.com. Also a way of contacting us. Holly, we were together on Saturday, which was lovely, with Sky Sports News, but you had been in London for 48 hours, because you went on Thursday to the Football Content Awards. Tell us a little bit about that, because last year you were you went into this as the reigning champ.
Yeah, I loved it. And then I had low expectations this year, having won last year. Thought I won't get anything this year. I think I was up for 2 awards, but in the fantasy football creators category, came away with the bronze award. Silver went to Andy. Let's talk FPL, and FPL Focal got the trophy this year. So delighted for him. But yeah, really great. It was at the Spurs Stadium. So went down to London on Thursday night, managed to dodge most of the bad weather and got back home on Saturday after Sky. Spent Friday in my hotel room working, managed to get the Wi-Fi good enough to do my press conference stream.
Oh, did
you?
I
thought that was going to be a disaster. It was a stripped back press conference stream, but I managed to do what I needed to do. But I was very happy to get back to my girls on Saturday after Sky. It was funny actually because I rang them on Friday morning, showed them the certificate, and Billy, my youngest, was like dead inquisitive about hotels because we went away as a family with my sister-in-law a few months ago. So she said, oh, whose hotel room are you going to go to? I was like, I don't know anyone in this hotel. And she went, you know Haaland, mummy.
Sweet.
Very, very cute.
Oh, were you like, oh, my friend Gianni knows Haaland even more. Trust me. Oh, brilliant. Oh, that's so cute. The innocence of a child, hey?
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, it was great to be in Sky Sports as well on Saturday. It was a good trip. Our producer, Mark, came along, didn't he, as well? We had a good time.
Yeah, no, it was really good. Nice to see Hayley and Sue as well. Sue Smith, who's got, I don't know how many caps she's got for the England women's team, but I think she's very close. I believe
it's 93.
I was going to say she's very close to the 100.
Handle on X.
Oh, did you? Okay, it's 93 caps for England, and she was like, "Oh, can I grab a photo with you guys?" We were obviously like, "Of course," but we chat to her every time we go in, don't we, about FPL? And she's really big on it. She's winning the Soccer Saturday mini league, and she was like, "I'm going to wind up Clinton and Dorse with, I'm getting an extra advice because I see these guys in makeup every other Saturday," And with that tweet, I was like, look, Sue, are you sure you want to get advice from me? Like, I'm at 2 million. You're at 29K. Like, really? So I thought that was quite funny. But yeah, nice to see her and being at Sky. I actually watched half the show back because I got sent it. Have you seen it back? But you sent it, Holly.
No, you'll have to send me the link.
Yeah, I don't usually watch back, but I was just like, I'm just going to check in. Like, am I standing funny? Do I hold the card in the right place? Do I look at the right cameras? It's always, I like to review myself every now and then. And therefore did. I watched half of it back. I couldn't stomach the whole 30 minutes. I just did 10. You know, me talking about how I'm not going to buy Salah. I don't need to watch that over and over. Shall we get cracking?
Yeah.
With some numbers game and eye test report? I mean, where do you fancy starting, Holly? Because there were some big games over the weekend to discuss.
Yeah, so when the team news dropped for Arsenal v Forest, that was a big one, wasn't it?
No Havertz, no Martinelli, no Rice.
Yeah, Chris Wood benched, who's obviously in my team. So that wasn't great either. And the man that we didn't think, or we weren't sure on who would start, but Saka started, star man, 13 points. Yeah. He had 6 shots, 5 in the box, 4 key passes. Basically, he was everywhere. And I've been saying for a few weeks, because I have Salah and Haaland in my team, it's more difficult for me to sell Haaland because I'm using the funds to buy a Saka rather than, in your case, I'm guessing you're going to be looking at moving the Haaland funds to Salah. And it's just not as exciting. But Saka just went and reminded me that, you know, he has to be in our teams. And I just love the fact that Arteta plays him every week, regardless of if he's got a knock or not. And I can see that trend continuing over Christmas. We also saw Odegaard with 6 key passes, and this Arsenal side is certainly looking better with having him back. And we got that clean sheet. And now I'm thinking I need double Arsenal defence again because I've only had one for a few weeks. So nice to get that clean sheet locked in. And the fixtures have turned. This was like their more difficult fixture over the next few weeks. Chris Wood benched. I think that was maybe like a hangover from the international break. He'd covered a fair few miles.
You've got nothing to worry about there, Holly. I promise you that.
No.
He'd been the other side of the world, scoring his hat-trick.
And it's Ipswich at home next, isn't it?
Yeah, Chris Wood's going to bang. Yeah, you're looking good there. I know for Chris Wood owners, last couple of weeks might have been, or a week would have been disappointing because if you own Chris Wood, you almost certainly don't own Cunha or Joao Pedro, probably neither. And obviously the 2 Brazilians, we'll talk about both those guys, were kind of the players of the week, if you like. So yeah, Chris Wood against Ipswich, though, he can make that up. Ipswich, a completely different beast at home versus away. And obviously there's games at the City Ground. But back to Arsenal, the difference Odegaard makes, man. Like, it was arguably Arsenal's best performance of the season. They were brilliant. And with no Havertz, which was interesting, I wonder if there was a slight knock there because Havertz is such a favourite of Arteta. But Jesus did a good job. Trossard did a job on the left. Jorginho played well in the middle. But Saka, those numbers say it all, don't they? And his goal was really great. And Saka's definitely someone we want. Do we want Saka over Palmer? Maybe not. Do we want him over Salah? Maybe not. And that's the big decision FPL managers have got. You can have all three if you don't go Haaland, of course. I have Haaland and I'm staying with him. So I have to go without one of them. But let's see. Shall we move on to Fulham Wolves? Because we mentioned the two Brazilians there.
Yeah.
Cunha needs some chat. He is smashing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's not an easy place to go to Fulham, who've had some good defensive numbers this season. Yeah. So for Wolves to come out of that game, the 4-1 winners, and Cunha to get 3 goal involvements, he led the team of the week with 16 points. And you just look at his consistency over the last 6 game weeks. He's got 5 goals, 3 assists, and just 1 blank. And that was against City. I mean, a surprise, because in my head he was 6.5 million still. He's now 6.9 million, but he is like the key target for me this week because you look at the next 5 fixtures for Wolves as well. Bournemouth at home, Everton away, West Ham away, Ipswich at home, Leicester away. Like, obviously he's going to be the most bought player this week, but you look at the fixtures, you look at the form, he's got the perfect balance. So yeah, he needs to find a way into our teams.
Well, when we look at the fixture ticket for like the next 6, the top 2 are Brighton and Wolves. I think Chelsea may be 3rd, or maybe Chelsea are top and Brighton and Wolves are 2nd and 3rd, but they're definitely both top 3. And I'm like, they're both top 3 and they've both got a cheap Brazilian forward. And you're right, like Cunha's going to get a huge amount of attention this week. He's gone up in price already. He's going to go up again before the deadline. He needs 61,000 as we record this on Monday lunchtime, another 61,000 managers to buy him. Joao Pedro, on the other hand, again has already had a price rise. This was, again, I think, a Saturday night price rise. I'm spelling Joao wrong as I type this into FPL statistics, which is a great resource for price rises. He needs 80,000 buyers before the weekend to go up in price again for 2 price jumps. So they're both going to get it. They're both going to have 2 price jumps and they're both phenomenal value and their teams are both playing at the top of the ticker. In terms of eye test stuff on Cunha, like I was really surprised to see again how central and attacking he is. Like he's meant to be a second striker. Strand Larsen's the number 9 in that club. But when you look at the average position throughout the game and over 90 minutes, Strand Larsen was slightly deeper than Cunha and they were both very central. So Cunha is in all the positions we like, as well as coming with the assist threat that he does, the dribbling, all the bonus point stuff that he gets, and then superb finishing and confidence to be shooting from distance as he is. And then Joao Pedro is exactly the same. He's also a second striker. The only difference is he's not been fully fit and he isn't ready to play an hour. Like we saw him come off at 63 minutes, I think it was. I think we probably see Joao Pedro versus Southampton at home getting 80 plus. And just because Brighton have got a bigger squad, he probably is going to see some early subs. But I don't think that matters too much. Like, who do you prefer out the 2, Holly? Because if you can only buy one, where are you going? 90-minute Cunha, but playing for a weaker attack, or a 75, 80 minutes almost guaranteed Joao Pedro playing for a better functioning attack?
I mean, for me, it's Cunha at the moment. Like, I know that Wolves haven't had the greatest start to the season, but from an attacking perspective, they only scored 1 goal less than Brighton.
Wow, really? Is that true? Gosh, see, I look at the teams and just assume Brighton are a much better attack, but clearly not.
You got to remember those terrible fixtures that Wolves had to start the season.
Yeah, they were rotten. We've never seen a start like it in the Premier League in terms of fixture ticker.
No, even when the fixtures came out in June, it was like, oh no, Wolves, you're not going to be looking at them. But now we're getting the payoff from that. So yeah, it's Cunha all the way for me. Is it tough? And I guess you've got Cunha at the moment. Have you got plans to get Joao Pedro anytime soon?
So yeah, my plan this week was actually Joao Pedro in before the weekend. My plan to get Salah has always been Trent to Lewis Hall, did that last week. Solanke to Cunha, plan to do it this week, and then Bruno to Salah next week, game week 14. I still think that's the plan. I didn't quite expect the price rises that have happened. So
Yeah.
I've now got 0.1 buffer. I did have 0.4 buffer because Joao Pedro and Salah, of course, have rocketed in the last 10 days. It might mean I get priced out. Like Joao Pedro, I need to buy before the second rise. If Salah has a second rise before the deadline, I'm in trouble, and I might have to take a 4-point hit to do that move, which I'm really against. So then I could even change strategy. I don't think we'll see a Salah second rise. He's already 54% owned. He needs 150,000 managers to still buy him. He's already had a rise. I hope I'm all right. And then after the deadline, probably need to make an early game week ahead of 14 transfer Bruno to Salah, which I'll be happy doing. So yeah, that's my plan. I don't really want to sell Solanke now. Like Spurs, that's so hit and miss. Like, what do you make of that? They lose to Ipswich at home and they beat City away.
It's just crazy, isn't it? They had 6 big chances as well in that game. But City had 23 shots. I guess Maddison was the big surprise because he's like a few weeks ago, when we were wanting to buy Spurs player, we were having a discussion of, which ones do you buy? And Maddison was kind of the runt of the bunch. So we didn't want them, did we? Because of minutes. And then he starts and he scores 2, which just kind of came from nowhere.
That second goal, if Messi scores it, it's like a viral social media clip. But Maddison scoring it was still great. But it was like the give and go and then the finish, like it so good. Like Maddison, he's played his way into this 11 now, and it means Brennan Johnson's going to be out. So if you own Brennan Johnson, he's an absolute sell because Kulu has to start. It means Kulu goes back to the right. Maddison takes the Kulu role in the centre. And obviously with no Bentancur, they need Papsar and Basuma in there anyway. So kind of works. And Spurs look dangerous. But the fixtures aren't great for Spurs, are they? Like, do you look at, like, do you own a Spurs attacker? Solanke, don't you?
Yeah, Solanke as well.
Are you planning to keep him? Because I watched the 90 minutes of this match. That 16-pointer Solanke got versus Aston Villa has done a lot of heavy lifting. Outside of that, his biggest return this season has been 6 points. He feels like an amazing player, someone Postecoglou and the Spurs fans will love, but not quite the FPL asset yet.
Yeah, I mean, Fulham at home, like Fulham are just lost 4-1 to Wolves. Like, that's a good fixture. Like, especially now, like, obviously Postecoglou has had to change things because of the Bentancur situation, but they are, like, it feels like they're in a better place than there was when they lost to Ipswich. Then it's Bournemouth away, Chelsea at home, Southampton away. Like, as a thought, I don't think that's too bad. I think Solanke is going to last a bit longer in my team. 2 big chances created for him. Porro obviously got a return as well.
Yeah, good goal. Yeah, but it's Spurs. Like, they could, if they lost to Fulham, I don't think anyone's surprised.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be surprised if it was 4-0 again, would you either?
No. My big question isn't, like, is Solanke necessarily a good or bad pick? I think if I'm you, I hold him. But if I'm me and I need money for Salah and I'm keeping Haaland and Joao Pedro got Southampton at home, is that not a huge upside fixture for Joao Pedro?
Yeah, you've got a point.
I could just sell Haaland for Joao Pedro.
Yeah, I was going to say, why not? Like, I think Haaland's going to win
I'm so bullish on it now.
Troll of the week again this week. But yeah, 7 shots in the box, 2 big chances, way up there for XG as well. I think he's going for me this week. I really do. I think I'd rather own Saka at the moment, and I'd rather get one of these more exciting forwards in as well. I'm
really
very happy.
Are you doing it? Are you so? Oh wow!
The only reason I haven't done it yet is because we've got a load of Champions League games midweek.
Yeah.
And I've got money in the bank. Like, I'm flexible.
This is the week to sell him. Like, if going against Liverpool away. So don't you look at Forest at home in 14 and see that as a captain? Like, I was going to captain Haaland in 14.
I'm just happy to captain Salah every week. Look at the form he's in. He's got 8 double-digit hauls in 12.
What's it like captaining Salah? What's it like having your captain actually score goals and points?
Oh, it's amazing. And it's bonus
points.
You look halfway through and it's like, oh, you're at the 60-minute mark and he's got nothing yet. But he's somehow going to find a way.
He only scores late goals. Like, if Salah's blanking at 60, you do not worry. You just don't.
It's inevitable. I do feel like City could start to pull things together though. Like, Foden had 5 shots, 3 in the bank. box. Sorry, Vardiol 8 key passes. De Bruyne came on for 16 minutes, had 2 big chances created. Why is De Bruyne not starting? That's the big
He's
question.
just
Like,
not fit. He can't
not
play.
fit.
You're losing 2-0 to Spurs at half time. I think it was 2. And you're going, De Bruyne is going to come on at half time, surely. He couldn't. It went 3-0, still didn't bring him on. Got to 60 minutes. I was like, oh my God, De Bruyne is still not fit enough for 30. He was only fit enough for 20. Like, that's unfortunately, this guy's been training a month. He is sick. No, that's why City will be happy. Won't be happy, but will allow him to go in the summer. And there won't be a new contract there because he's just his availability sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you though. I think City will start scoring goals. I think Haaland will too. And I'm so bullish on Haaland. I think I'm going to keep him and therefore sell Solanke to Joao Pedro. But I'm buying Joao Pedro this week. I just don't know if it's for Haaland or Solanke, which is a crazy decision to make because it really then affects my wider strategy. Like, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Let us know in the comments on YouTube what you think we should both do. Everyone's just going to tell me I'm a mug for having Haaland still.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah, I know. I've come this far. The season's already a write-off. So, shall we move on? Should we do Southampton Liverpool? Because you need to talk Salah.
Yeah, my highlight of Sunday afternoon was producer Mark in the WhatsApp group saying up the Saints at 3:21 when Southampton were ahead, and then quickly had to do a U-turn on that. But yeah, 27 shots for Liverpool in this game. Salah's numbers: 7 shots, 4 on target, 5 big chances, top for XG. I was listening to this game in the car, and the amount of opportunities he had to complete his hat trick in that last 8 minutes plus added time was ridiculous. But yeah, it's that 8 double-digit hauls in 12. Like, I should have triple captained him by now. He's just so consistent this season. It's ridiculous.
I think we're in a WhatsApp group where I said to, it was FPL family, Lee, I don't know if Lee did or not, I've not checked, but he had said about maybe triple captain him. And I said in response, absolutely do it. Like, I was big on triple captain Salah if you still had Salah and still had your chip. I didn't own him, mind.
No. But I mean, again, there wasn't that much to take away from Liverpool's performance beyond Salah's performance. I did spot that Szoboszlai, who's kind of been in and out the team, had 5 shots in that game as well.
3 bonus points.
Really?
Despite only 1 return.
Yeah, that's not bad, is it?
So clearly some very good creative numbers there. And I guess a lot of those shots are on target, which the BPS now favours. Salah got moved down from 3 to 2 bonus when he took his shirt off.
Oh yeah, I was annoyed about that. I did swear in the car. I think you need to be taking a hit to get Salah in this week. I honestly do.
No. Oh. My Salah spot is Joao Pedro. Sorry, my Salah spot is Bruno. Bruno's got Everton at home.
Shall we talk Bruno then?
Yeah,
United. First
United
game
sucks,
with Amorim in charge. It all looked so good 2 minutes in, didn't it, when they went a goal up?
All the tweets from United fans, we're back.
Yeah.
Give it time. Give it 10 minutes. It'll be a car crash again. It's going to take time. Amorim's clearly going to be brilliant, but it's going to take time.
Yeah, Fernandez blank. Interesting to get the 3-4-3 formation.
And Bruno moved. We like 3-4-3 for Bruno. It'll be one of the 2 behind the 9. Last 20 minutes of the game, he actually moved to the middle of the park. He moved to one of the 2 in midfield, which is where you do not want to see Bruno. Yes, he's on the ball more, but Christ, he's deep. He won't be there much, I don't think. Ahmad played wing back, got the assist. 4.9 million midfielder, Ahmad.
Interesting. He's cheap, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Rashford 9.
Rashford getting the nod at the number 9. Will that be Højlund or Xerxes? Who knows? I don't think Amorim knows yet. I think he'll give them all a chance, but Rashford looks like he's got the nod for now. Garnacho starting in one of the 2. We all thought Will Garnacho would be a wing back. Doesn't look like it. Where does Money Mace fit in? I think he'll come back in. Amorim's spoken about how much he loves him. I think we'll see Mason Mount with maybe a Garnacho or probably with a Bruno as first choice behind maybe Rashford as the 9, and then we'll see Ahmad as a wing back. Maybe Garnacho does get tried as a wing back at some point. But yeah, there's options.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out. Obviously, the Everton game is the fixture that you want for them, and then they kind of turn again after that. They're not as good. So it depends whether we get enough information. Obviously, we can scout them in midweek as well in the Europa League. I guess that'll just be another opportunity to test things out. First home game, and then obviously the Everton game is the first home Premier League game.
Yeah, that will be big. The first Premier League home game for a new manager has always got a little bit of something. And Everton, they never look like scoring. I think United for a clean sheet in that fixture feels like a good bet. And I expect Bruno to produce the goods. So, yeah, one to monitor. Let's see how United line up on Thursday night. I think, given the fact it's a new manager, they'll be pretty full strength. I think they need to win. They've dropped a lot of points already in Europe, so it's a big game for them. But definitely one to monitor, of course, as well. Champions League games, like monitoring Salah and Haaland before we commit. I know there's price rises this week, guys, but I'm not a fan of the early transfers in weeks where there's loads of European football to be played. Like, just hold. Salah could get injured and it changes everything, you know? Let's hope. I'd love a Salah injury so much.
Don't say that.
I know. So troll of the week's definitely Haaland again. I don't think we need to talk about that. No one listening and watching this even has Haaland. Holly, it doesn't sound like you're going to have Haaland. Do you genuinely think that'll be your sell this week then? Haaland out for Cunha?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, obviously, we're recording this on Monday before the Monday night football. So Isak is not a player that's been on our minds just because he's not played yet this week. But if he scores a brace, then that could affect things. But yeah, at the minute, I'm looking at Haaland down to Cunha. I'm going to sell my fifth midfielder, Dibbling, to bring in Saka, which will demote Morgan Rogers to the eighth man in my attack, which I don't think is a bad thing in December at all.
Oh, do you not?
No.
He's got Brentford at home, Southampton at home in 14 and 15. Will you not want to start him in those fixtures?
Yeah, probably. But you look at the fixtures, the 14's the midweek round, isn't it? And there's going to be rotation in 14. There's going to be rotation in 15. There will be a player that's injured. There's a number of players that are one yellow card off a suspension. Yep. Like, I think having that extra man will be handy. And then probably an indulgent transfer for me is to sell Greaves, who's my fifth defender, to get in Gabriel, double back up on the Arsenal defence, because I don't have a premium defender at the moment. This feels like a luxury move with my 3 frees to make that final one. But my defence looks pretty weak this week anyway, so I feel like it's something that can pay me back straight away, because Greaves is a doubt. He's got Forest away. Lewis plays Liverpool. Konza is a doubt and has got Chelsea away. So I feel like Gabriel in there is nice, but it is risky spreading all those funds around from Haaland in one swoop, because it's not going to be easy for me to get Haaland back in if I decide that I need him back.
Yeah, I think I like that for you with the 3 free transfers. I only have 1 free. Selling Haaland and bringing Salah in obviously would require a hit. I could go Haaland out to Joao Pedro, similar to you. Haaland down to a budget Brazilian. Means I keep Solanke. Like you, I would sell Dibbling to a better midfielder. So Dibbling to Salah. Morgan Rogers becomes my 8th attacker. So we're doing the same thing potentially. That would give me enough money to then upgrade one of my defenders to an Arsenal defender. As you say, like, I could go Greaves to Timber and I could then go Bruno to Saka.
Nice.
I'd have the money for all those moves if I did get rid of Haaland.
I think it's going to be price changes for you, isn't it? Because the plan, you're getting priced out of the plan, and the plan's looking like it's got a few holes in.
I mean, the plan's had holes in for 6 weeks. Because the plan involves no Mo Salah. The plan also does involve no Mo Salah for the Man City game, which I am happy backing against. And the reason why I'm happy backing against that game for Salah is no one's captaining Salah versus City, are they? Like, you're not going to captain Salah, are you? Not versus
my armband's
City.
There at the minute. City have just lost 4-0 at home to Spurs.
I know, but it's City. Like, that could be a 1-0 City game.
Yeah, but it's Liverpool and they're top of the league. They're scoring more goals than anyone else this season, other than Spurs.
If the majority are captaining Salah, then I guess I will have to bring him in this week. But if they're not, and I don't think they will you actually I mean, Palmer's got Villa at home and Burmo's got Leicester at home. Like, are we not captaining those? That's where my armband is.
Salah's just inevitable, though. Do you honestly think he's going to blank against City at home? Looking at how bad City have been.
I think the ceiling is lower than it has been. I always knew against Southampton he would punish me. I don't see him punishing me versus City. Yeah, he might get a goal.
He's just so consistent.
I know. But look, can Haaland not do what Salah's going to do in that fixture? Can Haaland not outscore Salah in that fixture?
Don't see it. Not away from home. Not in the form City you're in.
I know. Do you know, Haaland's going to go bang a hat-trick in midweek, like he always does in the Champions League, and I'll be like, oh, I'm going to keep him. I don't know. It's a mess. My plan still, I would like to stick with it, would be to keep Haaland and hold on Salah and get rid of Solanke, who could punish me. But look, Solanke to Joao Pedro is still, I think, an attractive move. I then keep Rodgers as my 7th forward, which I like in an ideal world, because I think with the fixtures coming up, I get, though, having a good 8th forward for the winter is good. And then Bruno to Salah. I've got 13.1 to get to Salah. He's currently 13.1. I buy Joao Pedro before the price rise this week, which I think I can do. That'll be like Wednesday, Thursday. And unless Salah rises this week, if Salah's not going to rise till post-deadline, I can stick with my plan. Might mean I buy Salah on the Saturday morning after the deadline. Before he's played. I'll be like, I've bought Salah before Man City, but I won't get any points for him in that game. Oh well. Okay, far too self-indulgent talking about my team. Should we move on?
Yeah, let's move on. What have we got still to... Have you taught captaincy?
I'm liking Palmer and Mbeumo. It's a coin toss for me.
Right, fair. Yeah, Palmer's decent at home, and Mbeumo, he's got the fixture of Brentford. I think they've scored more home goals than any other team this season. So,
new manager bounce for Leicester.
Have they recruited anyone yet?
Don't think so. I don't even know if they know. Like, Palmer, on the other hand, gets a free midweek. Aston Villa will be busy in the week. Of course, they play Juventus. Chelsea play, but they'll play the second string. And Palmer completely rested. Palmer at home. I think I like that one.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Right, yeah, shall we move on to parenting moment of the week then? I think, obviously, I got a little parenting moment in earlier because I couldn't wait to hang on another week with that story. But it is your turn this week. So what's been your parenting moment of the week?
My parenting moment of the week comes this morning where Gaia... So it's been floods around the country, right, this weekend.
Yeah.
You were worried about train home on Saturday. I've got friends all over the country. Like, a friend of mine in South Wales is like, yeah, football was cancelled. Like, it's been bad. This morning, 6:45, driving Gaia to nursery, and we hit a floody patch that I knew would be floody because every time it gets really heavy rain, this patch of this field always turns into a lake, and there's a small bridge, and quite often the bridge is closed. Bridge wasn't technically closed, and I was like, oh, the AA or whoever haven't come and closed it, probably because it's 7:40 on a Monday morning. And the car in front of me did a U-turn when they hit the water. Right, I'm not doing that. If you don't tackle that bridge, it's like a half an hour diversion. And I'm like, I need to get Guy to nursery at 8. I've got stuff to do. So I turn around to Gaia and I'm like, guys, should we do it? And she goes, yeah, like, let's go in the water, it'll be fun. So
you weren't in the Clio, were you?
I wasn't in the Clio. I was in the Qashqai, slightly higher up. So I decided, and I actually filmed it and posted it on my Instagram stories. I actually decided to do it. And yeah, we went through and we were absolutely fine. I did, however, tell Mum when we got home, and she was like, one, you're an idiot, because if you got stranded in the water, you've got Gaia there, like, great shout. And two, there's no way I'm doing that when I pick her up from nursery at 1 o'clock. So Cam didn't even go there, just did the diversion before she even got to the water for both trips of nursery today, there and back, having seen my video. But yeah, it was fun. But yeah, the parenting hack is, if the 2-year-old says go for it, you can do it, and then you can just blame her if you do get stuck.
So we need Gaia to tell you to sell Haaland and buy Salah this week, then, do we?
Yeah, do you know what? I'd probably listen. So yeah, I thought that was fun. I was like, would I have done that if she hadn't have told me to? Probably not. Probably been more sensible. But because it was like, no, Dad, it'll be fun. I just did it. So yeah, that was good fun. Yeah. Holly, next week it's not a double game week. Next week we've got 2 game weeks. So what's the plan? Because so when we record next Sunday, we will mention game week 14 and 15. It's obviously a Tuesday round of fixtures. On that Tuesday, if anyone is watching, note in the diary, I will be doing a 5 to 6 hour charity stream, and Holly will also be doing a press conference stream at some point. So make sure you're tuning into our YouTube channels on that Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to watching your. Well, I'll probably be streaming myself at the deadline, but the post-deadline bit, I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're very welcome to join me, but I did think, one, I didn't join yours because I cancelled last minute, and two, you'll probably be doing a press conference stream and a deadline stream that day, so I probably shouldn't steal you at all, but options there if you want it. Right, where should we go to now? Well, look, guys, I did mention our mini league. Make sure you're in it. 139793 if you fancy, and we appreciate all your follows and your ratings. Holly, we've been getting a few, haven't we?
Yeah, we're doing all right, I think, on the ratings. Last time I looked, few follows, and
I saw a few.
Blue Sky, get yourself followed on there if you don't already.
Oh yeah, Blue Sky. Yeah, get on Blue Sky. I don't even know if I follow you on Blue Sky. I've not spent enough time on there. I need to check that out. But yeah, guys, we will be back. Good luck for your planning this week. Stay tuned to both of our socials if you want to know what we actually do with our teams. Check out our YouTube for more. We will be back next start of the week for another pod. But thank you so much, as always, guys, for spending the time with us. A good 40 minutes with us every week. We really do appreciate it. And we appreciate your love on YouTube as well for those that are hitting the buttons, like and subscribe. But for now, we will see you next time.